Good afternoon, dear viewers, dear guests who have gathered here on site. Welcome to our event, and of course, welcome to all of our viewers on the other side of the screen. My name is Vainovskis, and we're coming to you live from the Economic Crime Court, which will be located on the left bank of the river Daugava in Pārdaugava on Mazāno Street. Economic Crimes Court is ready to start working, and we will be responsible for specific commercial disputes as well as criminal cases linked to the money laundering and the corruption of public officials. And undoubtedly, the establishment of this court is a significant step forward in ensuring the rule of law in the development of our country and our road as a society towards prosperity. All judges who are starting their work today are ready to show their openness to the society and be brave and courageous in creating new commercial and judicial practices. We are joined today live by the Minister for Justice, Jānis Bordāns, and the acting President of the Economic Crimes Court, Egils, and those who are watching us live after the official ceremony. We will meet the judges and will take the video greetings from Egils, the President of the Republic of Latvia, and other judicial system officials. And at 11:40 we will start a press conference. Dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers, it's my honor to now turn the floor over to the Minister for Justice, who's already joined me on stage. Mr. Bordāns, the floor is yours for the introductory and congratulatory remarks. Good afternoon, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear justices, dear viewers. For 3 decades already, we are living in a free, independent Latvia. We restored our independence 30 years ago as a state. For 3 decades, we've been striving to become a member of the family of prosperous European and world countries. We want to develop Latvia into a safe and prosperous country, a country ruled by one law for everyone, for prosperous families, new companies, and continuous prosperity. This is what we want, but this is what we haven't achieved. Unfortunately, the gaze to the past, the high level rate of the corruption, impunity of the big thieves, and insecure investment climate 2 years ago led to a situation where we were almost included in the greatness of the money valve. This list contains countries that are avoided by international investors, countries that are bleeding capital and human resources, where corruption is thriving. But we started to fight it 2 years ago, and we are slowly succeeding. Today we're also celebrating another major change that we brought about here in Latvia. The Economic Crimes Court is a specialized court for efficient resolution of commercial disputes and the prosecution of economic and financial crime. But it is something more than that. This court is another testimony of the inevitable change that we have triggered, which saved us not only from being on the money laundering, but also was a very welcome step by the foreign investors. Economic Crimes Court gives green light for safe investment in our country, which means new jobs for our country, decent pay, and also the development of all regions of Latvia. The new Economic Crimes Court is the red light to pass goes to oligarchs and their collaborators, corruption and unfairness and dishonesty. The impartial, efficient, specialized Economic Crimes Court will encourage all the honest public officials who on a daily basis are supporting the good changes that we have been implementing in our country. We need to support each other, and together we'll be able to fulfill the dream of building a prosperous Latvia. I would like to today thank all the courageous and professional specialists who joined the court. I would like to thank them for being really courageous, because promoting rule of law has met with a lot of opposition, with many past ghosts, and without courage you cannot cross a the rapids of the river. I would like to thank the judges which took part in the unprecedented competition, the job selection procedure. Hundreds of candidates applied, and there were 10 professionals applying for one position. I would like to thank the selection committee, Senator Balbo, who followed the most stringent standards for judges in selecting the new judges. Would like to thank the leadership of the Ministry of Justice. Would like to thank Aigars, the head of the department, and her staff, and then many others from the ministry who made this court possible. Would like to thank the College of Judges for bringing the dream to the fulfillment. And would also like to thank all those professionals from non-governmental sector, from the private sector, Latvian Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Jānis in particular, AmCham, Indrīda Kariņberdi, head, and many others who are not unfortunately here today in person on the side, but who are hopefully watching us and also enjoying the fruits of their labor. And last but not least, I would like to thank the new judges themselves and wish them all the best. Now the sort of the labor of creation is there, and the Economic Crimes Court is opening its doors today. We have done our bit with our colleagues, and now it's up to you to meet the expectations of the public. Investment security and fight against corruption and economic crime is now your responsibility. Thank you for the courage and the wisdom and the dedication to become those people who will be on the front line protecting our country and supporting the good change. Country ruled by law is a prosperous country, and this applies to Latvia. Thank you, Mr. Bordāns, and I suppose starting today you open a new tradition of giving particular gifts to the judges. Can you, tell us what that is? Because, we're living in the age of openness. Well, our judicial system is very much following what is happening, and we are very proud about the achievement as a community. And I think that judges have to also be reminded of this wonderful period in their life, a little token of appreciation. Watch with the inscription, Economic Crimes Court, 31st of March 2021, will always be a nice reminder, either in your office or at home, of the opening of the birth of this new court. Thank you, Minister, for the opening remarks. And this is not a traveling cup. This is a watch that each judge will get and will get to keep. Now I would like to give the floor for the opening remarks to the acting president of the Economic Crimes Court, Mr. Zumbergs. Please, the floor is yours. Good morning, Honourable Minister. Good morning, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants here in the yard of the Economic Crimes Unit and on the other side of the screen. The 19th century German public official, Otto von Bismarck, has said bad laws and good civil servants are good for the country, but good laws and bad servants will not help. I can agree to both of these statements, and we quite often hear from the media that laws are being interpreted very formally, although that may contradict with the sense of justice that prevails in the society. So we make changes in laws in a rush and try to fill those loopholes. But what about those who enforce the law? How can we get good civil servants and good judges? Well, through training and upskilling, which is, of course, not something that you can do overnight. It takes time and continuous effort. Focus on developing your skills. It took me several years to understand and realize that the law should serve a person instead of a person serving the law, and I'm still learning how to apply this in practice. We're a very small court, probably one of the smallest courts in Latvia. That's why the input and the individual growth of each judge will be essential and decisive, and the ability to see the public interest behind the law is also crucial. We're a small court, however, the spotlight is on us, and this will require us to communicate, to talk to the people, to explain to the people, and to listen to the people. We're a small court, however, there are great expectations currently put forward towards us, and that's why so many doubted the success of this project. However, I'd like to remind everyone, and especially ourselves, to keep faith in our court and just let us prove ourselves. Good luck, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Zumberg, and your colleagues are applauding. Nobody can probably hear it on the other side of the screen. However, I would like to ask you to join Minister of Justice so that we could commence the ceremony of the inauguration of the new economic crimes court. And from words, we have to now switch to deeds. I would like to ask now the Minister to open the plaque which marks the location of the Economic Crimes Court on Mazanomia Street 30 in Bordāns. So this marks the inauguration of the building, but this is not the end. We have now inaugurated the building, and we have to now open the doors. We'd like to ask now the Minister and President take the scissors and cut the ribbon without a rush, just slow-mo, please, cut the ribbon. We need you to go slowly so that the photographers can take photos, and you can, of course, do it slow, even slow, probably. So, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to everyone here and everyone watching us online. We have officially opened the Economic Crimes Court, and since this is not only a local event, but also an international event, I would like to now everyone to Economic Crimes Court is now officially open. We wish them to protect justice, defend honesty, and always find truth and never compromise it. Today, Ļubova Kovaļa, Kaspars Vecozols, Dagnija Muceliece, Vija Kalniņa, Miķels Zumbergs, Ieva Jankovska, and Aigars are starting their work at the Economic Crimes Court. Let's meet the new judges.
Sveiki, Ļubova.
Labdien.
Hi, Ļubova. Hello. You're starting your new job in the new building. What does it mean to make it your home? Well, for me, it's this bookshelf that creates the feeling of home. It's empty, but I'm yet to move my collection here. It's quite a big bookshelf. It will have enough place for new books and for new knowledge. What are the three key qualities a good judge should have? Well, a judge should be impartial, honest, and capable of taking decisions. What are your wishes to your colleagues? Well, I would like to wish my colleagues to be brave, courageous, decisive, and smart. Thank you. Hello, Cuthbert. Hello. How do you come to work? For the past 78 years, I've been biking to work mostly, and I should say that this workplace is a bit further than my previous workplace, but I'll continue biking to work. Nevertheless, how will this differ from your previous work? What the main difference is that I will have to decide complicated cases alone. What's your wish to your colleagues? Well, I would like to wish my colleagues to be fair. Hello, what is the most challenging part of judge's job? Well, it's difficult for me to say because I haven't been a judge before, and I can only imagine what the challenges could be. How to tackle the stress prior to hearing? Well, you can do that by doing your homework, a proper preparation, working out a hearing plan, and to avoid stage fright, just take a couple of deep breaths. What would you wish, colleagues? Well, I would wish them a lot of interesting cases. Thank you. Hello, Dagmaya. Hello. Well, how does it feel wearing a robe for the first time? Well, it's nice. It's very pretty, but heavy. Did you imagine yourself a judge growing up? No, I wanted to be an accountant, work with papers. What would you wish, colleagues? Be brave, healthy, and happy about what you do. Thank you. Hello, Aigars. If a judge ends up on a desert island and needs to keep working, what would be the 3 things that you would need? Well, that's a trick question. If you don't have any other humans and it is an uninhabited island, you can rest because you can't adjudicate anything. What kind of qualities should a good judge have? Honesty, impartiality, and respect. And your wish to colleagues? Well, I would like to wish them to always be open to new knowledge and new experiences. I'd like to wish them to find justice in all most complicated cases. Thank you, Aigars. Hello, Miklos. Hello. How does it feel starting a new job? Well, I'm ready for new challenges. What motivated you to apply for this position? Well, it seemed like a logical next step in my career based on my experience in other courts and your wish to other colleagues to be level-minded. Hello, Eva. Hello. Starting in your new position, what in your previous background will help you? Well, patience, curiosity, inquisitiveness, and the will to arrive at the best possible solution and best memories of my colleagues. How did your family take your decision? Well, they were happy, a bit saddened because I'll have less time to spend with them. What do you wish your colleagues? Well, this isn't going to be an easy job. It will be interesting and challenging nevertheless. So I'd like to wish colleagues a lot of joy, a lot of energy, patience in this starting period. Thank you, Eva.
Ar tiesnešiem mēs esam iepazinušies un
We have already got briefly acquainted with our judges. And of course, today judges will be congratulated not only by local officials but also international judicial system experts. But before I give the floor to the President of the Republic of Latvia, Levits, who will give us his online readings, I would like to read what he has written down in his National Aspirations book, authored by him as a wish to the new judges. And here's how it goes. May your honest work in the best interest of the public soothe your professional and personal ambitions. Welcome to the opening of the youngest court in Latvia economic crimes unit, 1st of March 2021. Egils, President of the Republic of Latvia. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from the President of the Republic of Latvia, Egils, Levits. Honorable judges and employees of the judicial system, welcome to the opening of the economic crimes court. Our road towards the court hasn't been easy. However, our system, judicial system, is constantly developing, and although this was a pilot project, it might become self-evident in the future. Business environment and business community altogether will benefit from much more efficient justice. With this court, most developed economies in the world have specialized courts of different kinds. At a time when the relationship between the government and private sector became much more complex and integrated, we need a specialized economic crimes court which will promote business and investment. And there is a matter of the international aims of our country. Looking at the selection committee that worked on selecting these judges and the criteria and the judges that were selected, I can confidently underline that we are welcoming new judges with due perspective to this court. Good luck to all of you, all the new judges, and a lot of career growth.
Bordāns, Chief Justice Strupišs, Prosecutor General Stukāns, distinguished judges of the Economic Court. I am delighted to address you during the opening session of the Economic Court of Latvia. The creation of this Economic Court is a testament to Latvia's ambitious agenda to enhance the accessibility and the effectiveness of its justice system, as well as an indicator of a strong Latvia-OECD relationship. It is also in line with the OECD recommendations presented in the 2019 OECD Economic Survey of Latvia and the 2018 OECD Review, Access to Justice for Business and Inclusive Growth in Latvia. That was the title of the work. Now, this reform also comes at a crucial time. Businesses and economies have been hard hit by the COVID-19 crisis. Global GDP contracted by 4.2% in 2020, and SME profits across OECD countries fell by an estimated 40% to 50%. Just imagine. In Latvia, GDP declined by 3.6% in 2020, and SMEs have required significant support from the government. Business legal needs and case backlogs have also dramatically increased due to contractual disputes, employment issues, corporate insolvencies, etc. So the economic specialization of courts can help Latvia solve these issues and build forward better through fairer, more inclusive, more sustainable growth. The experience of OECD member and partner countries suggests that specialization reveals several advantages. The first one is that specialization has been observed to improve the efficiency and the effectiveness in the resolution of legal issues, because it strengthens the responsiveness to the specific legal needs of companies. Second is that specialization can also enhance the uniformity, the predictability, and the quality of judicial decision-making in economic matters. It therefore generates a more secure business and investment climate. And last but not least, as highlighted by the recent OECD report, which is called Performance of the Prosecution Services in Latvia, a comparative study, that's the title, specialization can promote a more effective prosecution of financial and economic crimes by enabling targeted training and then the experience of judges to accumulate in this increasingly complex field. Dear friends, we applaud the inauguration of the Economic Court, which places Latvia in a solid position to address the growing needs of businesses, to tackle economic and financial crime, and support an inclusive and resilient economic recovery. The OECD stands ready to continue working with Latvia and for Latvia in its pursuit of a more efficient and effective justice system, promoting access to justice for all in the post-COVID-19 world. Thank you.
Tiesneša amats nav viegla lieta. Un es nerunāju tikai
Being
par...
a judge is not easy, and I'm not only talking about the professional requirements, your knowledge and the abilities. What I'm talking about is something that you will find a bit more hard to handle, and something that you couldn't predict. You can't please everyone. If you're dealing with a dispute, you will have to rule in favor of one party only, and that's how it goes in all the cases. And a losing party may get offended, may get sore, but you don't have to be afraid of it. That's unfortunately what comes with wearing a robe, and somebody may attack you personally, and you shouldn't be afraid of that either. You have to stay impartial, you have to be brave, and you have to be honest, because only brave and honest judge can fear nothing. You may have doubts about how to act in particular circumstances, and if you do have any doubts, remember what your oath says and try to look at it from the perspective of your oath. And be aware that if you have any questions, if you need any help, you can surely go to your colleagues, other judges, who will always lend you advice and help you go forward in whatever way they can. I'd like to once again welcome you to the family of Latvian judges. Good luck in your future work. Dear colleagues, congratulations on your courageous and responsible decision to become the judge. Public expects from judge honesty, justice, decisions which are transparent, timely, and well argumented and well informed. Would like to remind you to never forget that each decision that you take as a judge concerns or has impact on the rights of a certain individual, and of course shapes the general public attitude towards judiciary. I'd like to wish you persevere and never lose your curiosity and lots of energy in working as a judge. One rule, one justice for all. Good morning, dear colleagues. On behalf of the Riga District Court and its staff, I'd like to congratulate you on starting new work as judges of the Economic Crimes Court, the first specialized general jurisdiction court. 31st of March is an important day for Riga District Court as well, because 26 years ago, after the restoration of the national independence, our court opened doors on 31st of March. You will gain public trust by what you do as judges. Riga District Court is the appeals court that will have to deal with your cases or with appeals against your decisions. We would like to wish you to cooperate with us closer, not only during the appeals procedures, but also as colleagues would like to wish you a lot of energy dealing with all the cases. And don't forget the feeling that you had when you gave an oath, when you made an oath to the Latvian president. Each case that you review, whenever you put a signature on a judgment or a verdict, always remember about standards for judges. Wish you luck in your future career as judges of the Economic Crimes Court. The establishment of new specialized economic crimes court isn't goal in itself. Our goal is to serve the interests of the public and take care of its prosperity, which is, of course, the primary objective of the businesses that need to benefit from the rule of law and fair competition and environment. How to achieve that? Through court, through a commercial court, economic crimes court, that can quickly and efficiently review various disputes. I, as the head of the Legal Affairs Committee in the Parliament this time, have felt a lot of opposition towards this court when we came up with this initiative. But companies helped us with supporting the establishment of the court and helped to argue for it in the committee, and we managed to push all, despite the opposition, this decision through the Parliament, and now the court is opening its doors to new clients. The court, everything suggests that we need this court. We're on the right track. We're implementing the right reforms in our judicial system. The establishment of this court is an important step towards strong strengthening of the rule of law, attraction of the investment, and providing solid business environment. This opens a new page in the history of Latvian judicial system. I'd like to wish the Economic Crimes Court all the success in its future work and achieve all the time it has set for itself. Good luck to everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed Minister of Justice, President of Commercial Court of Latvia, esteemed guests and dear colleagues. It is my true honor and great pleasure to join you with this video message at the opening ceremony of Commercial Court of Latvia in the name of Croatian judiciary and commercial courts in particular. Going all the way back to ancient Greece, the great orator Demosthenes would mention in his speeches specialized judges which settle disputes among merchants in Athens. This is a testament of historical importance of commercial courts. The development of democracy and the rule of law depends in large measure of the proper functioning of the judiciary system, which is made more efficient by the specialization of courts. Commercial courts are playing a significant role in this context. They are not only an important element of judiciary, but also of economic system and therefore of the society as a whole. The exchange of best practices, expertise and knowledge of national and European judiciary enhance the functioning of our courts. I'm convinced that we will continue our successful collaboration. To conclude, I would like to congratulate you on the opening of the Commercial Courts of Latvia on behalf of Croatian judiciary and in my capacity as the President of the High Commercial Court of the Republic of Croatia. I welcome you to Commercial Courts Club, or rather our family, and wish you fruitful success in the future. Thank you.
Pēdējais.
Sirsnīgi sveicieni svinīgā dienā, kad darbu sāk ekonomisko
From the bottom
lietu.
of my heart, I would like to congratulate all the new judges of the Economic Crimes Court on behalf of the Fiscal Foreign Investors Council in Latvia, and on behalf of the Latvian business community, we would like to thank everyone who contributed to the opening of this specialized court of Ministry of Justice and the whole judicial system. Would like to wish you 3 times 3 good things. As for the businesses, this is going to be an efficient, competent and impartial court. For the court and for its staff, it will be a wonderful way to cooperate with colleagues and create an inclusive and professional environment. And to everyone professionally, would like to wish a lot of energy, courage and success. Good luck. I would like to thank the President now and our rebate guests from Latvia and abroad for the best wishes. However, on behalf of the Economic Crimes Court, I would also like to thank the Aigars Court for giving the premises and advice launching the activities of the court. Would like to thank Gurria, the President of the Bordāns Court, and everyone who supported the Economic Crimes Court before it opened its doors. When Mr. Bordāns suggested this idea, that he met with the Juris from Finland to learn how a specialized court was created in Finland. The commercial court has proven that it is very important throughout its 7 years, and will important player. Although the Finnish commercial court president cannot be with us, he's of course sending his warm greetings to the staff and everyone here on the EU court. However, this is where we have to now switch our attention to the media. We'd like to thank everyone for being with us today and for covering today's event. We'll give now floor to the PR spokesperson Levits from the Ministry of Justice, who's going to moderate the press conference. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Economic Crimes Court opening press conference. Today we have Minister for Justice Jānis Bordāns with us, and the Chair of the Judicial Council, Strupišs, and Daiga Vilsone from the Riga District Court, the acting President of the Economic Crimes Court, the official representative, Māris Vainovskis. I, as Harald already mentioned, am the spokesperson of the judicial system. Before we open the press conference, let me briefly give you the agenda. So we'll start with the statements and we'll then open the floor for questions. Please raise your hand to ask a question in Zoom or write it in the chat box. Ask the question, please mention who you are, which media you represent, and to whom you would like to ask your question, and also would like to remind you to mute your microphones when you're not speaking to avoid disrupting our press conference. Now the floor is given to the Minister for Justice, Jānis Bordāns, for his statement. Good afternoon. I suppose that we have already heard about the main steps of the process of establishing the economic court, and we also learned and heard a lot about the role of the court in contributing to the development of our judicial system, our economy and our security. The President mentioned that, representatives of the judiciary mentioned that, and I think that Mr. Gurria specifically underlined the international importance of having this court. Among developed countries, will now be known as the country that protects investments and ensures good governance in its country. So this is a sort of a creditor trust. Although we have done a lot to earn this trust, nevertheless, we're opening the court's doors today. So this is the sort of beginning. We have done the first step. We have done the minimum. We have built the building. We have put the judges in it to help the businesses. Colleagues and I will be happy to answer questions. Thank you, Mr. Bordāns. Now I'd like to give the floor to the President of the Judicial Council, Mr. Strupišs. Thank you. Today, indeed, we're opening a new court, and it's a specialized court. Specialization as the principle on which this new court is based is a good thing, and beyond doubt, specialization to a certain degree, under the condition that it's well managed, it is not over-exaggerated, can be very pro-efficient, but we should miss a moment where specialization leads to fragmenting and distorts the whole picture. This is not something we're concerned at the moment. This is, however, something that we should bear in the back of the mind in the future. As regards to the court, there are great expectations on this court, and this, however, let me be frank, does not solve all the problems. Let me be open with you. No court can solve problems with prosecuting offences if we have poor pre-trial investigation. To fight the embezzlement, it's not enough to have the court in a civilized democratic country. There's something that you have to clearly realize. No court can sanction anyone without evidence. Collecting of that evidence, processing of evidence, analysis of the evidence, and submitting of the evidence to the court is as important as the proceeding itself. And the judgment, of course, there are courts that can do that, but those are not the courts of democratic countries. We know Stalin and KVD and Troika courts, but that's past. And courts are not responsible for the investigation. Investigation is poor not only because of the poor pay, but also because of the closing of the police academy. Unfortunately, that was a huge mistake, which basically threw us back 15 years ago, and I've raised this with the Prime Minister and with the President, and I have reminded them that we need the Police Academy. And Prosecutor General is also taking more charge of the investigative activities with better coordination. The courts will be relieved from the duty of reviewing poor evidence and poor information. But if we don't address the investigative phase, the new court might start stalling at a certain point and might have to deal with other problems. As you know, the chain is as strong as its weakest link. And the prosecution starts with investigation, with pressing charges, and then comes the proceeding or the court hearing. And that's something that we also have to admit openly, something that we're quite often hushing about. And there are claims that the Judicial Council has been against the Economic Crimes Court. We've never been against such a specialized court. We've been against the lack of debate about the establishment of the court, neglecting of the views of the partners about this court, and the failure to recognize that there's a need to address the pre-trial investigation first. Any speculations, any claims that we have had a negative attitude towards the Economic Court or its new colleagues or judges is absolutely wrong. We need this court, we respect this court, but we were not happy with the process of the establishment of this court. And this court is as good as any other court. It's a specialized court with quite strong staff, professional lawyers. I've spent almost 2 full days in training with these judges, and like what I saw there, what I'm seeing is that our judicial system is now benefiting from strong, young, very energetic, and very open-minded lawyers with sparks in their eyes, and altogether I have a very positive feeling. But my main observation over these 2 days of training is that our colleagues are not only well trained, but also very impartial, very independent. Judicial Council, of course, will help them to maintain their independence and impartiality, and will support them in any way they will need. I think the public should know what I told these young judges in our private conversations. I told them a couple of things during this training. Check everything yourself. Don't believe anyone, including me. Be independent. Treat parties with respect. Be brave, courageous, because you and only you will be held accountable at the end of the day. And I think that judicial system, everyone in the judicial system, will help you achieve your goals. Good luck, and once again, congratulations on starting the new job and joining the judicial family of Latvia. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Strupišs. I would like to give the floor to the Riga District Court President Daiga Vilsone. Thank you. On my behalf, I would like to wish colleagues lots of energy, because the expectations towards you are absolutely immense. I was very pleased to see that level of motivation in our young colleagues, and would like to wish them to keep faith in justice, in honesty, and never lose the energy that they have today. It's like opening a book and knowing the content. You don't know how it will end, whereas our new colleagues will have to provide the content to this court. From the perspective of the Riga District Court, I can tell you that we will need to be in touch with each other. At the end of April, or probably in May, we will kick off new dialogue. This dialogue will discuss the first experiences that you have had. As far as the judiciary and executive branch is concerned, I'd like to wish everyone to finalize the selection of the missing judges, because if the caseload will be too big starting this new position, judges might burn out at the get-go, which will of course damage the efficiency and the performance of this new court. That's why I'm very hopeful about my new colleagues. Their role in the judicial system is absolutely invaluable. Thank you, Mrs. Vilsone. Now I'd like to give the floor to the acting president of the Economic Crimes Court, Mr. Zumbergs. Good afternoon. The idea of the Economic Crimes Court was first presented a while ago, and I thought we need special judges in the court, and that would be a nice way to pool all the resources. We'd like to underline that our judges are not feeling special in any way compared to other judges, and we wouldn't be working in this court if it didn't have a clear purpose of building a honest business environment. I was working in the administrative court as a judge, and that's where I realized that the quality of the court work has direct impact on the business environment and investments, and this is something that I will try to remember in my work, and to respond to Mr. Strupišs concerns, about the quality of the investigation and this new court. I would like to nevertheless encourage everyone, or reassure everyone, that the establishment of the administrative court way back allowed us to sort of increase the standards and improve the efficiency of the judicial system. I suppose that this new court will be another sort of impetus for stepping up the efficiency of the courts. Now the floor is going to the official representative, Māris Vainovskis. Dear viewers and participants, ladies and gentlemen, indeed, I'm speaking on behalf of TISL, which cooperates with a lot of NGO organizations of business associations and organizations. On this auspicious day, I would like to congratulate and thank also the business community here in Latvia, the Latvian businessmen and taxpayers, because the efficiency of our judicial system and this court serves the interests of all of us, interests of the Latvian companies when it comes to the business environment. And this was one of the needs of the businessmen, and they not only demanded this court, they also took a very active part in establishing this court. And I try to remember, you know, when did we conceive this idea? When we started promoting this idea, it was 5 years ago, and there's evidence. 3,000 man-hours have been spent on promoting and developing this idea, analyzing the possible solutions. I'd like to indeed thank all of my colleagues, you know, for working on this. I'd like to thank the Ministry of Justice and the law enforcement community of Latvia, all the institutions, all the agencies, departments and bodies for supporting our idea, because businessmen feel that their interests are being respected, they have been heard, and their suggestions and the initiatives have been followed, which of course strengthens the link between the private and the public sector. And the opening of the specialized court will indeed bring a lot more transparency into our economy, judges and courts. Your verdicts and your performance is the best, or the sort of the biggest reward that Latvian judges have. Also, it's an international recognition. You're a symbol of justice. You're the symbol of honesty and truth. And we are giving you a lot of credit of trust, but we will also demand a solid performance from you. So we'd like to wish everyone work serving the Latvian economy and the business. This is something that I would like to wish you on behalf of the business community here in Latvia for our investors. Thank you, Mr. Vainovskis. This brings us to the question and answer session. I see Jits has raised hand, so Jits, it's over to you. Good afternoon, Jits from the Latvian television. I don't know to whom I should address the question, but it's up to you to decide when you hear my question. A clarification: will the specialized court take over the cases that are being currently reviewed by other courts, the disputes that are currently in other courts, or will it start working with new cases only? Thank you. Well, I suppose the judges should answer that, but to break the sort of the silence, I would like to explain that, you know, a joint decision, a consensus is that to avoid past experience that we had, you know, with the administrative court, with all the cases that were in the pipeline that should be delegated to the administrative court were transferred to the court, and they had a huge backlog of cases that wasn't in the court. But we have to learn our lessons, and basically the new economic crimes court will start working with new cases only, and if the case has been referred to district court, it will not be transferred be adjudicated by the district court. I hope I've provided the right information. Thank you. Any other questions? Did you have another question? I see your hand raised. Yes, unfortunately, I'm sorry. So as far as I'm concerned, you have no further questions?
Šobrīd mums izskatās, ka ģirta...
So, there are no other questions. This question was the only question. It seems that press conference is over. I would like to thank everyone for taking part in the press conference. My best wishes to the new court. Best of luck to you all. Thank you all, and we'll see you at other events and hopefully in person. So, I would like to thank the organizers of the press conference as well. Thank you all.